the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, and the S&P 500 all set new highs. Everything is going really, really well as we start the month of September. But let's talk about that some more. I'm going to tell you what I think about that. But if you own XRP, welcome back to the Coins Alert feed. I really appreciate all the love you guys show me every day. XRP's price is stuck near an all-time high right now. Sorry, it's not an all-time high. It's just above that limit I talked about on my channel. Remember, that is a big resistance. People who are short on XRP are doing everything they can to keep it below that key range. If the price goes above that level, both sides will be in charge, and I think XRP will hit its all-time high that many people are expecting. But 323 cents is down about 1.8% in the US and 3.1% in Bitcoin right now. It is worth $91.6 billion and trades about $9.3 billion every 24 hours. But before we go any further, as always, I want to make it clear that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. As with any investment, you should always do your own study before putting money into crypto. Let's begin with this. This means that more people are searching for altcoins than at any time since 2021. I also talked about this in my Cardano report in case you watched that, but there are more and more looks for altcoins, which means that stores are also beginning to pay attention. Of course, the fact that Ethereum is going in a certain direction shouldn't really come as a surprise to any of us at this point. If you watch the station every day, this is what we've been waiting for. Some of these important things did happen, and as I've said before, we're entering an altcoin season. Once a month, that's when you should look at it. There has been a lot of volume, and I can't even begin to guess what we can expect as August goes on. I really like what I'm seeing here so far, but Spot Ethereum ETF had its third best day ever for inflows, more than $700 million. As of today, 3 of the 6 best days for new users since start have been this week alone. $3 billion more in the last 7 trade days on a different level, and that's a fact because so much money is coming into ETH and the control is going down. This is the simplest way to look at it. What's going on with the dominance? It's clear that prices are going down and hitting levels we haven't seen since the beginning of the year. However, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high and hasn't budged from its position as the leader, which is exactly what altcoin holders want to see. This is really, really exciting. But look at this too. Is Ripple ready to go up against Swift? Check out what Credoc says. I believe there is a world where we can both live together. Our clients just want to be able to send money around the world right away and cheaply. We only need to make things better for the customers. This is where XRP Ledger or Ripple comes in, as defined by the ISO standard. Also, remember that the XRP native coin is useful if you know how Ripple networks work. Of course, a lot of people talk about how it's negative and how XRP will be burned a lot over time, but it needs to be used. These days, XRP Ledger has been putting out some great numbers, but they need to be even better for XRP native token to really take off and get to that level of fire that a lot of people want to see. But you can't say never because of how institutions are coming in. As you move into the crypto area, trade by meeting DeFi, I believe that the sky is the limit, especially when you look at RWAs and how XRP ledgers could really support these big groups as they start their RWAs and tokenize them. This is where the fun really comes in handy. In this case, though, we don't want to miss something important. Singapore is moving tokenization from test projects to widespread use, which will improve access to regulated finance and make the market more mature. You may know that Fiona is the VP and Managing Director of APAC at Ripple. She talks to Read the Edge about how progressive law and blockchain innovation on XRPL are caused this shift. I think you should go to Ripple's page and click on this link to read the whole story. But listen to what David Schwartz says. The XRPL was made so that fees stay low and predictable, a few cents a day without a separate gas coin. You can pay for any released asset directly with XRP, so you don't have to buy another token just to make a transaction. This saves you time and money. XRP can be used as a bridge asset for payments, transfers, and liquidity, and it doesn't require a counterparty. Anyone can use it. There you have it. You are hearing this straight from David Schwartz. For every XRP exchange /burns XRP. Going back to what I said earlier, we talk about how it can lead to deflation, but extra appeal leisure needs to be used at the level where trillions of dollars are coming in, and XRP is really being burned massively. When that really starts to happen, we can talk about XRP going up to $10. We need to be aware that it will take time until then. You should pay attention to this, though, because it comes from the man himself. More and more PL architectures use design choices like deterministic finality and a consensus method based on proof of authority. It's good to see that some newer chains are adopting these choices. It shows that more and more people in the business agree on how important it is for financial applications to have predictable, reliable settlement that doesn't require expensive validation. Looking forward to the next stage of extra appeal innovation, which will bring more programmability, compliance, great features, and greater liquidity for use by institutions. Welcome to the party to those who are just starting out. The dark tent is getting bigger. David Schwartz tweeted something very, very interesting. I think you should all read the whole thing, but first read what he says. We're seeing more and more people in the stablecoin and payment space start their own blockchains. This shows me that the market sees blockchain as an important part of the financial system. This is something we believed in and worked toward for 13 years on the XRP record. That's it, guys. There you have it. To all the haters. I think the haters will be shocked when they read this. Also, to bring this up again, Franklin Templeton's spot ETF, not a derivative ETF, spot XRP ETF has until September 9th to get a final ruling from the SEC. That's next month. And is it possible that a spot ETF will be allowed, or are they going to put it off? That would be pretty cool if this gets passed. You already know that Franklin Templeton is one of the biggest asset managers by AUM. So very, very important things. Of course, the next few weeks and next month are going to be very important. September is going to be a big month.